Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'd like to show you how I made this little box. It was inspired by this cute little box I received from Wendy Porter when I went to on stage in Telford at the beginning of November. If you saw my video that where I shared all my swaps with you, you may remember that I showed you two boxes which I said were very, very similar but have been made very differently. I'm going to do a video on each box. Today I'm doing this one. The next one I'll be doing is this one. This one is being made by Maria of Gold Cats Stamping Heaven. Right, so the two main differences between mine and Wendy's box is the size, obviously, so that you can see what's going on, and also because I've done mine bigger, I've used cardstock. This size, I don't think the designer series paper would have stood up too well, but it's fine on the smaller sizes. Okay, so the card pieces you're going to need are: the base measures 7 3/4 inches by 3.5 inches. This is real red. That's 19.7 by 8.9 centimeters. Two pieces of Whisper White, which measure 1 7/8 by 1 7/8, or 4.9 by 4.9 centimeters. Two pieces of designer series paper, and I'm using this design which is from Candy Cane Lane designer series paper, and these both measure 1 3/4 inches by 1 3/4 inches, which is 4.6 by 4.6 centimeters. You will also need a small piece for the sentiment and also a small piece for the owl. I've also got a piece of ribbon which is 7 inches long. The ribbon is from our stitched satin ribbon, 3/8 of an inch, again real red. So to start off with, we're going to score this piece. And as we're still in November, just to remind you that I am offering a scoreboard as a prize for my online customers. For every £50 you spend in my online shop, your name will go in once for the entry, so £100 you go in twice, etc. Plus the fact the orders are cumulative, so if you place two orders during the month, then they will be added together to find out how many entries you're entitled to. Right, okay, so inches you're going to be scoring at 1.5. I'll do inches first and come back for centimetres. So it's 1.5 inches, 3.5 inches, 4.25 inches and 6.25 inches. In centimetres, that is 3.7 centimetres, 8.9 centimetres, 10.8 centimetres and 15.9 centimetres. Then you turn it 90 degrees and you score at 3/4 of an inch, which is 1.9 centimetres. And then turn 180 degrees and do 3/4 of an inch again, or 1.9 centimetres again. So that's all we need the scoreboard for. Right, let's just get myself all tucked in nicely. Right, now we need a pair of scissors, and the first thing we're going to do is we are going to cut out these corners, the little oblongs here. Now what you need to do is, with the scored line, if you cut a straight line on this one on the left hand side of it, and then on the south side of it do the cut on the right hand side. Basically we want to get rid of this scored line. Okay, so straight up here and straight here. I didn't do my one quite far enough. Okay, so all the score line is on that bit there. Okay, this is just straight here, and I'm going to do the same to the other 4. So I am cutting a straight line to the right hand side of the score line. I'm cutting a straight line to the left hand side of the scored line. So again, all the score line is on there, nice straight lines here. I'm going to do the same on this end, straight line to the left hand side of the score line, straight line to the right hand side of the score line. Yep, that's fine. And then again, straight line to the right hand side of the score line, and straight line to the left hand side of the score line. Okay, so we don't need those. What we're going to need now is our scalloped tag topper punch. I'll put the correct name on the screen. Now, normally you would use a piece of paper or cardstock that is just a tad under 2 inches to go in here, but obviously ours was our 3.5 inches. So what you need to do is slide this bit in and carefully push the rest of it in as well. Okay, it will go underneath here. Okay, and the other side will go underneath as well. So if you check the bottom and then move it so that this red here is centered here, and it's quite easy to feel with your fingers here, and it's quite easy just to have a look over and see that you've got the same amount protruding there as you had there, and the amount is absolutely negligible. Okay, just make sure that hasn't moved as you've been checking it, and then once you're happy that that's okay, punch. Okay, so you just finish up with that, and then you turn it around and do the same for the other side. Push it right the way in, make sure it's level, turn it over, make sure that you're happy that this is lined up perfectly there, and just eyeball it so that you look at that and that and make sure it really is in the centre. I think that could go a tad over there, and then just make sure it's still pushed in. There we go, and when you're happy, punch. Oops, something's just fallen down. Right, so we don't need that. Now we're going to do some more cutting, and this time we're going to be cutting on these 2 lines up here, just to the score line, and these 2 lines here up to the score lines. And again, if you do a straight cut on this side by the side of the box, straight cut this side, which is the side of the box, and then on the tab you can do a mitre. Okay, so that's a straight line there for the side of the box, and then a mitre for the tab. Okay, straight line on this side because that's the side of the box, and then a mitre on that side. And same again on the other side, straight line on this side, mitre on the tab, and then a mitre again. Okay, oops, what are you doing? So that's what you should finish up with. So what I do next is I adhere my DSP to my white cardstock, and I'll use my silicone sheet here. You can use your preferred method of glue. As you know, mine is definitely Tombow. But fast fuse, snail, whatever your preference is. Needless to say, I have got a few other boxes I've made, but with different DSP and different images on the boxes. But I'll show you those towards the end. Right, now I'm going to pop them on here. Do be careful if you've got a directional pattern. If, for example, you've got something that needs to be standing up here, on this one you need to put it there, and then on this one you need to turn it around up the other way, because your box is going to be going like that. So you don't want one that's upside down. And if you're doing stripes, then you need to make sure your stripes are going the same way. It looks a bit odd if you finish up like that. Okay, so I'm going to pop these onto here now. For some reason that has finished up quite a large border there. So I'll either put that at the back or put the image on it so that it disguises it. This one looks a lot better. I'll have a look when I get there. In fact, no, I can't, can I? I've got to make the decision when I put the box together. Well, in that case, what shall I do? I think I'll probably just pop it to the back. Make sure that's in the same direction. There we go. Now we need to fold and score on all our score lines. As you're folding over, make sure all your score lines line up correctly. Before I forget, don't fold on these lines here, okay? They do not get folded. I assume that those lines are there just to help us decide how far down we take this. I can't see any other reason for it. And again, as you fold over, make sure this lines up correctly. Yes, that's definitely going to go to the back. Right, so decide which one's going to be your front. So this is my front, and that means that these side flaps are going to be going on the outside. Okay, so the cut edges will be at the back. You won't be able to see those. I'm not quite sure what that is. It's not going to be concealed, is it? I think I'm going to have to use that as the back. Okay, so this is my front now. Changed my mind. So to put this together, I tend to do one side at a time, and of course I use Tombow. So with your front here, with these two flaps, put some adhesive on. If you don't use Tombow, I would recommend that you use Fast Fuse. I think that's what Wendy used on her box, and it was really very, very sticky. It was quite difficult to pull it apart. Right, so with the flap, you get that to go behind the tall one with the glue on it, and push it at the back so it sticks onto that one, and then bring this one forward and push it over, and then with your fingers you can just push all of this so it fits up nice and square. And then once you're happy it's in position, use your bone folder to go in. First of all, flatten down the flap, and then make sure the sides are all down. Okay, and then once you've done that, not forgetting which is your front, which is this one, we're going to put glue on these two now. So it's going to be on there first, and then on there. Okay, so that one goes down, that one down, and then that one, and then squeeze them to shape, which is very easy if you've got them all cut nice and straight, which I'm sure you have. Okay, so then that one, again, put your bone folder in, make sure the flap is stuck down well, and then make sure all the sides are too. Okay, so there's your box, a really beautiful sturdy box. Next we're going to do the owl. He comes from a stamp set called Cozy Critters, and it is actually a hostess set, and this is the one I'm using. So I have my piece of scrap paper. I am going to use Archival black ink, and this, I've got my little piece for my greeting, and this is Merriest Wishes, which is from Christmas Magic, this one here. Okay, let's do that one first, and I'm using soft suede ink for the sentiment. I'll bring this down as close as I can. Make sure it's nice and straight with my lines on my grid paper, and I'll try not to get my head in the camera, but I will try and get my sentiment straight. I think that might be a bit high. Oh no, that's okay. No, I'm very happy with that. Definitely happy with that. So I'm just going to cut a little piece off. Then I can adhere that later. Right, let's bring this big bit back again. And my Archival basic black ink. There we go, that looks good. I should have done this a bit earlier actually to allow it time to dry, but never mind. Now to punch this out, I'm using the Owl Builder punch. I don't need all this other shrapnel here. Now I wonder if I can colour that in without smudging the ink. What I did for the diamonds on his, well, we'll say it's his sweater. I used the pen end. Now I don't know whether I've got the new one or the old one here, but what I found was as I was using this, it was running out. I wonder if it was this one. I just wanted to show you a tip if you find yours is running out. Yes, it is running out, that's good. So if you take your ink pad, your real red ink pad, and just very gently dip your pen in there, that will get your pen going again. It will only survive for this job, but it's long enough. Personally, I don't find I use my pen end very often. But jobs like this, it does come in very handy. Right, now I'm going to change to the pen end and I'm going to paint the scarf. I'll put this away because I'm not going to need this again now. One of the things Wendy did to her owl is she painted, she used cherry cobbler I believe, didn't she? Yes, I'm sure that's cherry cobbler. But she painted or at least coloured the top of the owl's eyes. Now if somebody had said to me that they had done that without actually seeing it, I would have been a bit surprised to say the least. But it looks really good. I would have thought that, you know, without seeing it, I would have thought it would make the owl look as if he's red eyes, been drinking, whatever. But he doesn't. It looks really good. It ties the head in with the rest of the body. Don't know why, but it does. Let me show you what I mean. That's what it looks like with the cherry cobbler. It just works, doesn't it? But I don't really know why. And there's my one with red. I think it just ties everything together really, really nicely. There we go. Now, as you know, I don't normally use dimensionals, or at least I don't often use dimensionals, but this just called out for them. So what I did was, on the back of the owl, I took one down there, and I had some little half dimensionals, and that I found was just the right amount. There we go. Don't want to touch it too much in case that's still a bit wet. And my merriest wishes, I'm going to put this on with 2 dimensionals, and this should just fit on really nicely. I could have done this in black because the owl is in black, but I just think that the soft suede makes it look a little bit softer. So there we go, that's that. And just to finish off, obviously pop a chocolate in there, and then with the ribbon fold it in half, and then put the 2 pieces in from the back, and then put the 2 pieces through the front one as well. And making sure that you keep these straight. If you put your finger through the loop at the back and bring the 2 from the front through, so then very gently work this down so you have this straight piece of ribbon coming down over here. And I have found that by gently pulling it down, it does actually seem to get a grip. So I'm just going to trim this off. The thing is, with boxes like this, it's quite often difficult to decide how to close them. And by doing it this way, they're easy to open and reclose without having to use another piece of ribbon. So there we go, that's today's project. Let me just show you the other ones that I've made. This is my very first one, this is my test. And I've used a retired colour, which is Mossy Meadow. But again, it's the same ribbon as this one. And this one, no, it was the same size, wasn't it? It just looks smaller. And then the other ones I've done, I did a penguin, and he's from Snow Friends, I believe. I didn't bring it over. Again, the stamp set name will be up there, up on the screen. I've done the reindeer, which is from Cookie Cutter Christmas. Oh, I did 2 penguins, but different backgrounds. And you will notice with all of these I've used googly eyes. Unfortunately, it's not something that we sell. Now this one, this again is from Cookie Cutter Christmas. But what I did on here, which I don't recommend you do, is I actually stuck the head down onto this piece. Okay, I don't recommend that you do that at all. These others I have left loose, and I think that looks a lot better. She seems as if she's like got her head back and doesn't look very comfortable at all, whereas these others are sitting up nice and straight. Possibly a matter of opinion, but there you go. Many thanks for joining me today. Let me bring Wendy's inspiration back again. Wendy didn't put down a website or anything, so I don't know if she does have one. If you're watching this, Wendy, and you do, please let me know, because I will put the details on the screen for you. Many thanks for joining me today. If you have any questions or any comments, please leave a message in the box, comment in the box below, or email me at janb@janbcards.com. If you'd like to purchase any of the products that I featured here today, not that one because that's a retired colour, not the googly eyes nor the chocolates, please click on the link in the box below, and that will take you to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop. As I say, I'll put all the correct names of the products I've used and the product numbers on the screen. If you're watching on a device where it's not visible, it will all be in the box below. So if you click where it says show more, that'll open up the box and everything will be in there for you. And finally, oh no, second to finally, penultimately, if you've enjoyed my video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button, and then you'll be notified every time I upload another video, which is normally Wednesdays and Sundays. And don't forget that during November 2016, I am running a prize draw for my online customers to win a Scoreboard. That's right. And the details will be on the screen and again in the box below. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.